Today we're tackling a car that I bought 3 months ago and I haven't touched up until this week. So I bought this little Suzuki Alto. It's only got 33,000 miles on the clock. Now it looks a bit more sorry for itself than it did when I first bought it. Reason being is I bought it with a knackered gearbox. They're quite common for the bearings going wrong in them. So what we've done is we took the box out, we've had it sent for reconditioning. It's now back. Before I put it back together again, I'm going to sort a few of the little bits. So you have to take the front bumper off to get the gearbox out of these. So there's a bit of paint to be done, which we're going to tackle now. The worst of it being on this front bumper, which you can see there, there's scuffs all along there, scuffs there, scuffs there, scuffs along the front here, scuffs there, scuffs there. There's also, on this passenger side, we've got a little dent and scuff on this door. And I don't know what's happened, it looks like someone's tried to sand it back or something, I'm not sure what's going on there, but that's also flat. So what we're going to do today, before we put it back together, we're going to do these little bits of paint on this side. We're also going to repair this bumper, and then Monday, all being well, as long as we have no problems with the paint, this can be put back together again and it will be ready for sale. So first of all, let's get to work with stripping out all the plastic trims in this bumper, and then we can get to work sanding it back and getting it ready for paint. Let's go. So we're at a point now where most of the damage has been sanded out of this bumper. I'm going to give it a flat with a Scotch-Brite pad, and then I'm going to start banging some primer on it. Then we'll just sort of check it over and make sure it's all as flat as can be. And then we'll move on to some of the other damage on the door and on the wing, if that looks all right. Got through that a lot quicker than I thought. I think having the panel off the car actually is a big difference. Obviously you can't do it every time, especially when I'm trying to get cars in and out of prep as quick as I can, but just having that sort of out, I mean the stand I'm using is absolutely diabolical. I need to upgrade that at some point. But having it there in front of me rather than to crawl around on the floor made a big difference, I think. I've got that through that quite quick. Yeah, so let's crack on, get this flattened down and get some primer on it. Okay, so that's the bumper sanded down, not sanded down, sort of flattened down. Ready for some primer, so it looks a state at the minute, but we're going to go around, pretty much cover this in full. I need really to invest in something called 2-pack primer, which is sort of using an air gun. It's like a high build thing. At the minute I'm still using aerosol cans, and for bigger jobs like this, really you should just bang a whole coat of primer across the whole bumper, but I ain't got any today, so we're just going to bang on some aerosol primer. Let's go. So we've got a coat of primer on the areas that I've attacked. This saddle looks all right. However, what it does tend to show up is little bits that aren't quite right. So you can probably see there, it's still a bit rough, so I've not sanded that quite flat enough. Same here, and there's also got some slight cracking around there, some slight imperfections on there, and a small crack just there. So what I'll do now is I'll just go around these little areas. That I can probably get that back to a nice finish just with a slightly lighter sandpaper. Same with that, but I might just put a light coat of filler in some of these sort of cracks and scuffs. I'm going to leave that on hold for a second because I'm going to need a bit of filler, most likely on this bit here where it's scraped on the door. So I'm going to start prepping this front wing and this door now, and then we'll have another look on what we actually need to mix up filler wise and go from there. So let's crack on. Really had the habit of doing this whole video thing. All I'm doing now is took a block. I'm using a block because I need this to be as flat with the car as I can. So I'm just going to go at this with a block in different directions, try and get the flush. I've already started, as you can see. We're looking a lot better. We've got a high spot up here. We've got some ripples there where I've just put the filler on. I'm going to keep going over this, hopefully this will flat out. Once all the other sides are feathered out, if I've still got a ridge there, I might need to do a bit of another layer of filler there, but we'll see how we go on. Okay, I am a dusty boy, but that's the prep done. Managed to get away with just one coat of filler. So that's the wing all sanded in. Actually, I might just get another pass on. There's a couple of small little dings on that, but we'll sort that out in a second. That's the door, which is nice and flat. And over here we've got the bumper, which is, this is actually ready for paint, so needs a quick wipe down. There's a few small, like there, but it's like, how far do you go with this? It's a £3 car. If I hadn't have touched it, it would have been covered in blemishes. Most cars that are, this is what, I don't know what it is, I think it's a 13 plate maybe? 64 plate, so it's what? It's 11 years old. Most cars that are 11 years old will have some form of bodywork on them, so I do occasionally leave the odd scuff. Shoot me down if you think that's wrong, but so you've got to balance efficiency and results all the time in this game. If I was doing it for my own car, or if I was doing it as a paid job for a customer, which I don't feel like I'm at that level yet, but if I ever get to that point, then yeah, you spend as long as you need to spend on it to get it absolutely perfect. But on this, from what it's come from to what it's going to be, again, like I always say, as long as it looks better, it's more presentable for the customer, I'm happy, the customer's happy, everyone wins. So next thing to do is rub down these panels, so the wing on the front and the door, get them rubbed down ready for paint, get things masked up, have a clean up because all this dust, I don't want that getting in my paint. And then we'll go from there. Let's go. So this is where we're at, guys. So we've got this front wing all flat and primered up. Doors all primered up. I'm well pleased with this. I think this is one of my best repairs, to be honest. If you look down that door, I've got no idea where that repair even was. It's dead chuffed with that. Usually I'd still be able to see a bit of a dent or something, but bumper's ready. Next step is to get some paint on this bad boy. Let's go. So the coverage after one coat is actually pretty decent, to be honest. I don't think you can necessarily tell where I've repaired. Maybe probably a bit on this front one, actually you can still see a bit of a colour difference there. So we're going to bang one more coat of paint on and get some lacquer on this bad boy. Let's go. So as you can see, I've not only bagged this car, I've also bagged this car. This is a car that's back under warranty for a clutch, a really annoying one. The clutch wasn't slipping, the pedal just kept sticking down. We've changed the slave cylinder, which is common on these. Customers reporting it's still sticking, so just to eliminate everything, I've put a clutch in this car. But yeah, on this one now, I've just put one last coat of paint on this wing. You can just still see where the primer met the old paint, so one more coat on there, then we're ready for some lacquer. So that's that one done. Well, there or thereabouts. I'm really pleased how it's turned out. I think it looks great. And the trouble is now, this is a very shiny panel. We're gonna have to polish the rest of the car up so that it all matches. That shouldn't take too long. There's quite a few scratches on this really, that could do with a good polish. So we're gonna give this a full buff as well. Obviously these panels will get flat and polished once they're fully dry. They're still a bit soft at the minute, so I'm gonna chuck this car outside and move on to the next one for now. This next one coming in has got a bit of a story. I'll talk you through this one in just a minute. Here's my next project. This is a little smart car. I hate these, they drive awful, but they get traded in occasionally. I've had a couple of these over the years. They're semi-automatic. The chap that bought this bought it for his son who could only drive automatic cars. With it being semi-automatic, he couldn't get on with it. And I wasn't willing to argue with him, even though it's not really a valid reason for return, because mechanically it's sound. I wasn't going to get into it with him, so we bought it back. But I'm going to tidy up a bit more. Last time I banged it up for sale, cheap, and just sold it with a bit of bodywork on it. This time around I'm going to try and get a couple £100 more for it, but make it look a bit tidier. So we've got a little bit of lacquer peel on this front bumper here. We've got some damage here. It looks like it's been filled or repaired before, so we'll sand that down and do a small patch repair there. And we've also got some lacquer peel on this rear bumper here, and yeah, and a small scuff there. So lots of small little jobs. I'm not going to do any full panels on this. I'm just going to do sort of patch repairs, and then sort of flat and polish it and blend it into the old lacquer. It's only a £1,400 car at the best of times anyway, so it doesn't really warrant spending too much time on. But if we can make it look a bit tidier and get a bit more money for it, that's what we're going to do. Let's get to work. That's the areas that I'm going to be painting, primed and ready for paint. I've mixed the paint up now. I'd be very surprised if this is a good match because it's a really unusual colour, but it looks close enough. We'll see how we get on. At the minute, the Alto that was here earlier on is up on the ramp. Gearbox is down here. It's had 3 bearings replaced in it, which cost me about 240 quid. One of the more expensive repairs I've had done by the gearbox restoration chap that I use, Cooper Restorations. Now I mentioned earlier on in this video that I would be introducing you to the latest member of the Minus Vehicle Pro team, as Adam's departed. This, everybody, is Michael. Michael, give us your introduction as a dating profile.
I'm a very old mechanic, 51-year-old, 52 next, been on spanners a long time, enjoy coming to work some days, and I am how I am.
That's Michael, everybody. So you've been seeing a lot more of him on this channel. His answer to most problems is that he's going to set things on fire or take a hammer to them, but he does occasionally fix a car, which is always useful. Let's get this smart car finished, and we'll take a look at the Auto later in this video once it's back on the floor and ready to drive. Let's go. The colour match on this has really surprised me. I thought this was going to be a terrible match, but actually I don't think you can even tell it's been painted, to be quite honest. Maybe a bit on that bottom one, but not much. So we'll get a bit of lacquer on this. Let's see what else we've got in today. This smart car that we painted yesterday, this is in flat and polishing. Again, you can probably see on this bumper particularly the difference in the lacquer. It's hard to see on the camera actually. Angle maybe. Anyhow, this is really shiny, this is not. So what we'll do is we'll sand the whole thing back flat. This is actually a plastic bonnet. So I'm not sure how well this will flat and polish, but we'll have a go. If it doesn't look right, I'm just going to lacquer the whole bonnet. I maybe should have done that anyway. It's a small panel, but I didn't. So that's what we're going to do there. Woo-hoo-hoo, she's a beauty. Look at the paint on that. It's got to be the tidiest 21-year-old smart car you've ever seen in your life. Now, funnily enough, same as last time, I could have sold this car 5 times over. Genuinely, it's had more interest than any car on the forecourt. Now, this is supposed to be viewing tomorrow at 10 o'clock on a Saturday, and we took it out for a quick spin, as we do with every car when it comes in. Even though we've had this in before and we knew it drove fine when we parked it up like a month ago, we took it out and it's now misfiring in sort of under load in 3rd and 4th and 5th gears. So now we're hoping it's a set of spark plugs, but these have 6 spark plugs in an 850 odd cc engine, which is absolutely bonkers. It's a 3-cylinder engine, 2 spark plugs per cylinder. So Michael's job now is to whip the 6 spark plugs out, bang some new ones in, and our fingers are all crossed that it actually sorts it, because it's real quiet at the minute in the motor trade. It always is around the kids' summer holidays, and annoyingly, always the way, the cars that get inquired on are either already sold or they're broken. So whereabouts are just show us where these plugs are. This is ridiculous.
Right, 3 spark plugs are in normal place, as you would expect. Top of the engine, 1, 2, 3. So the other 3 are behind the bumper, down there somewhere.
So the bumper that I've freshly painted is now going to be on the floor, probably getting scratched. No, it won't get scratched up.
I'm going to kick it about.
Michael's going to kick it about. And no, we'll be careful. But yeah, it's frustrating. So we're going to whip those out now and we'll take you for another drive, and fingers crossed. So how can spark plugs just suddenly fault though from it being sat in a compound? That's cars for you. But yeah, we'll leave Michael to crack on with that. And that's a bumper off. That's all 6 spark plugs on the floor there. What are you doing now?
Check oil.
Checking all levels.
Yeah. And we'll see.
Yeah, this is engineered by Mercedes. You'd expect better, wouldn't you, really?
guys, I'm going to leave it there. Tune in for the next episode where we'll be checking to see if that has resolved the issue, and if it has, if we managed to sell it on Saturday. We've also got the Suzuki Alto. That's now been flat and polished. I'll show you a bit of what we did with that and stuff, and we'll get that photographed and up for sale. Yeah, I'll see you in the next one, guys. Hopefully by then we'll have some, I'll be able to take you around the new unit. There's been a few delays, the plumbing's not been sorted yet, and the electrics aren't all sorted, so hopefully the next episode I'll be able to take you around then, but if not, there's plenty more stuff to watch. So guys, if you like the video, please subscribe, like, and let me know in the comments if there's anything you want to see in the day-to-day runnings of a car dealership. Cheers, guys.